With Ottawa being Canada's federal capital city, there are plenty of reasons to relocate here. We have tons of fun festivals, incredible museums, and of course the Rideau Canal. Keep in mind though that we're ranked as the world's 7th coldest capital in the world, so make sure you bring some hats and gloves. Once you've decided to move to Ottawa, you'll need to know exactly what your living expenses will be. In this video, we're going to break down what you should consider when looking at the cost of living in Ottawa, and make sure to stick around to the end as I'll show you a great site that you can really dig into and look for specific costs. Stick around. The cost of living in Ottawa, Canada can vary depending on several factors such as housing, transportation, utility, taxes, and lifestyle. It is important to note that the cost of living can vary greatly depending on an individual's specific needs and lifestyle choices. For example, a single person living alone will have different costs than a family of 4. The cost of housing in Ottawa is relatively high compared to other Canadian cities. The average cost of renting a 1-bedroom apartment in the city is about 1,500 Canadian dollars per month, while the cost of a 3-bedroom apartment is around 2,500 Canadian per month. However, this can vary depending on the location, age, and condition of the apartment. Renting an apartment in a newer building in the city center can cost more than renting an older apartment in the suburbs. The cost of buying a home in Ottawa can also be quite high, with the median home price in the city being around $500,000 Canadian. However, this can also vary depending on the location and condition of the house. Factors such as the size of the house, the age of the house, and the neighborhood can all affect the price. Additionally, the utilities on average cost about $200 Canadian per month, including electricity, heating, water, and garbage. But this can vary depending on usage and season. The cost of transportation in Ottawa is relatively low compared to other Canadian cities. A monthly pass for the city's public transportation system, which includes buses and trains, is around $100 Canadian. Gas prices are also lower in Ottawa compared to other Canadian cities, with an average price of around $1.30 Canadian per liter. Additionally, Ottawa offers a bike sharing service, and owning a car is not necessary, which can save a lot of money on transportation. However, if you choose to own a car, the expenses of owning and maintaining a car, such as insurance, registration, and repairs, should also be taken into account. These costs can add up and vary significantly depending on the make and model of the car, as well as the driver's age and driving history. The cost of food in Ottawa is relatively low compared to other Canadian cities. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant is around $15 Canadian, while a meal at a mid-range restaurant is around $30 Canadian. The cost of groceries is also relatively low, with a basic grocery basket costing around $150 Canadian per month. However, this can vary depending on what you buy. For example, organic and imported products are generally more expensive than local products. Additionally, Ottawa offers a variety of international cuisine options, which can be more expensive than traditional Canadian meals. Eating out regularly can add up and be a significant expense. Preparing meals at home can be a cost-effective alternative. Healthcare in Ottawa is provided by the Canadian government and is generally considered to be of high quality. The cost of healthcare is relatively low compared to other Canadian cities, as the government covers the majority of the costs. However, some services may require co-payments or fees, and you may have to pay for private health insurance if you're not a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Additionally, if you have a pre-existing condition or require specific medication, it's important to factor in the cost of treatment or prescription drugs. These costs can vary depending on the individual's health status and needs. Taxes in Ottawa are relatively high compared to other Canadian cities. The federal tax rate is 15% and the provincial tax rate is 5.05%. Additionally, the harmonized sales tax HST rate is 13%. This can add up significantly on top of the cost of living, and it's important to consider how much you'll be paying in taxes when budgeting. Additionally, property taxes can also be significant, especially for homeowners. The property tax rate varies depending on the municipality, and it's important to consider this cost when purchasing a home or renting a property. The cost of lifestyle in Ottawa can vary depending on one's preferences. Entertainment options such as movies and theater shows can be expensive, with ticket pricing averaging around $15 Canadian. However, Ottawa offers a variety of free, low-cost activities such as parks, museums, and festivals. Additionally, the cost of hobbies and leisure activities like gym memberships, sports equipment, and travel should also be factored in when evaluating cost of living. These costs can vary greatly depending on an individual's interests and preferences. So if you head over to numbeo.com, NUMBEO.com, and type in Ottawa, You can have a couple of options here. You can have cost of living, property prices, quality of life, and there's some premium options as well. But for cost of living in Ottawa, it's going to give you a summary of some of the main kind of categories. So for example, family 4 estimated monthly costs are $4,700 without rent. Single person estimated monthly costs are $1,301. Ottawa is 4.4% less expensive than Toronto without rent. And rent in Ottawa is on average about 28.2% lower than Toronto. So it is using a bigger city for comparison, but it will give you an idea. We do have a lot of relocations from Toronto to Ottawa. And then of course, if you want to scroll down a little bit more, look at the restaurants, how much a meal is in an inexpensive restaurant, a meal for 2 people, how much domestic beer is, imported beer. And these are the prices here on the right. And then it will also give you a range. And then as we get into our markets, so you have some produce, some food, milk, chicken, beef, apples for a kilogram. Again, just to give you an idea, kind of. Now it is going to be on average plus or minus depending on the location that you go to. Transportation as well too here, one-way ticket, monthly pass, taxis, your utilities, basically how much you're paying. Again, it's going to come down to usage. We kind of go on average about $200. Here it's a little bit lower. Sports and leisure, how much a fitness club is. So on average about $72, $75 per month. Again, depending on which club you go to. And of course, childcare, preschool, you're running about $1,300 per month on average. Clothing and shoes, rent per month, salaries, prices in Ottawa. And this is a good one right here. This is the distribution of expenses using our statistical model. So again, you're gonna have about 31% is gonna be your rent. You're gonna have your food and groceries just a little bit lower. Then you have your restaurants, you have your transportation, sports and leisure, and so on. So make sure you have a look here. You can compare it against other cities, so nearby cities here, and it's gonna show you how far it is, Gatineau being the closest one. And then you can compare city to city. So again, the website is NUMBEO.com. Type in Ottawa, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Cost of living in Ottawa can vary depending on many factors and can differ greatly depending on an individual's lifestyle and priorities. It is important to consider all of the costs associated with living in Ottawa and to budget accordingly. Additionally, it is important to keep in mind that prices may fluctuate over time, so it's a good idea to regularly check and compare prices to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. Thanks so much for watching, and if you have any questions about Ottawa, feel free to book a call directly with me. There's a link in the description below. Welcome to Ottawa, and catch you in the next one.